There's a viral video going around which states that a Saudi media outlet called Trump the true president of the world. The video is a bit curious, and I'm going to show that in a couple of moments. But first, let me quickly cover a couple of other stories that have been making the news over the last day or two. First, multiple media outlets are reporting that Trump's military parade will cost taxpayers up to $45 million, even though it comes at a time when the administration is cutting spending in a wide variety of areas. The parade costing up to $45 million was confirmed by an Army spokesman who also said that the price tag will include as many as 25 tanks rolling through Washington, in addition to the thousands upon thousands of soldiers. It's also a bit odd that the $45 million price tag is also one of Trump's favorite numbers, in addition to 47, so maybe the eventual cost will be $47 million. Another story you just have to shake your head at is Trump posting the rhetorical question, has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer hot? Now, personally, I have not noticed that, but I don't keep track of these things as much as Donald Trump evidently does. But besides the sheer silliness of this kind of post from Trump, it's really unsettling how Trump seems to be bragging about his own post of hating another person, and that his hatred has all of this power, which unfortunately is probably true to an extent. He has the skill, if you want to call it that, of spreading hatred with people. If he starts denigrating another person for any reason, MAGA world will start turning on that person almost immediately. And of course, the people that Trump turns on are those that criticize him for whatever reason that might be. But it is simply stunning to see Trump brag about a post in which he said how much he hated Taylor Swift, and that was the reason that she's no longer popular. Trump apparently now understands, or at least understands more fully, that whatever he says will be acted upon by his supporters, and that is a bad omen for the future. But Trump's comments about entertainers were not limited to Taylor Swift. He went on a rather bizarre rant about Bruce Springsteen, calling him, among other things, highly overrated, not a talented guy, making fun of his looks, and that he should keep his mouth shut. In case you don't know what set Trump off, Springsteen was in England and made a couple of comments, among them, in America, they are persecuting people for using their right to free speech and voicing their dissent. In America, the richest men are taking satisfaction in abandoning the world's poorest children to sickness and death. Now, obviously, if Springsteen had talked about how great Donald Trump was, Trump would then be posting how great of an entertainer Springsteen is. But the truth is that for all his pretenses about being a tough guy, Donald Trump is actually the biggest snowflake out there. He has the thinnest skin possible, and any criticism of him results in him saying that person is a loser, or they are nasty, or they are untalented, or they are a liar, or they are just evil, and on and on. But when I look at Trump's posts on Truth Social, especially the ones where he criticizes others, I see them as projections. He's projecting onto other people the characteristics that he himself has. And I think that's particularly obvious when he talks about how other people are liars or that they're evil. He's basically telling everyone what he himself is. Then we have another story about Comey supposedly calling for the assassination of the president with his 8647 Instagram post. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I personally do not think Comey had any intention of causing violence against Trump. However, it was a careless post and something Comey should have thought more about before doing. The Trump administration is simply looking for an excuse to go after anyone who has ever opposed Donald Trump, and Comey was foolish enough to give them that excuse. And it may also be a harbinger of what is to come for anyone who criticizes Trump, whether in social media or on their job, especially if it's a job in the government. All the people in the Trump administration are making it clear that they are going to come after those who speak against Donald Trump. And while many of us are not as foolish to do what Comey did, we nevertheless have to be careful in what we say. So it is clear that the Trump administration is looking for a reason to put some of these people who opposed Trump previously in jail. And Comey just gave them a very big reason. So let's now talk about the viral video going around in which the claim is made that a Saudi newscaster referred to Trump as the true president of the world. There are actually a couple of problems with this video, but before getting into them, here is the video itself in case you didn't see it, and it only lasts about a minute or so.
Breaking news, Saudi media just gave Trump a new title, the true president of the world. When Trump arrived in Riyadh, it wasn't just diplomacy. It looked like a coronation. He was greeted with golden sabers, white Arabian stallions, and a royal motorcade fit for a king. It was imperial treatment. Saudi outlets called it a tribute to power, something no U.S. president in history has ever received. But Trump didn't just bring symbolism. He brought $600 billion in investment deals. He brought the world's attention back to the Middle East on his terms. He signed a $142 billion defense agreement and launched a U.S.-Saudi AI alliance. Even more shocking, Trump lifted all sanctions on Syria during the visit. Meanwhile, Biden is still struggling with domestic chaos, inflation, and collapsing approval ratings. So why is Saudi Arabia backing Trump and ignoring Biden? One Saudi anchor went viral for saying Trump no longer represents a party. He represents power. And when your allies start calling someone else the real global president, that you have to ask, who really lost power?
So here are the problems with this video. The voice kind of resembles that of Laura Ingraham from Fox News, yet there is nothing on the Fox News channel, as far as I could tell, that resembles this kind of a video. Then there's the comment about one Saudi anchor going viral for saying that Trump is the true president of the world. However, there's no link to that story. There's no video replay of her saying that. Now, perhaps that was in Arabic. However, there's no footage or anything, just her image, if that's even a real image of a newscaster. Of course, that's not to say that she or someone in the Saudi media didn't say that Trump was the true president of the world. Perhaps they did. It's just that there is no evidence of those words being spoken, and it could have even been a poor translation. However, what really makes me suspicious about this video is the repeated references to Joe Biden, as if he is still in power or has some immense power over what's happening in the Middle East. And even the closing statement of "this makes you question who really lost the election" doesn't make sense. Let me play that video again, and maybe you can see how the whole thing is a bit nonsensical.
Breaking news, Saudi media just gave Trump a new title, the true president of the world. When Trump arrived in Riyadh, it wasn't just diplomacy. It looked like a coronation. He was greeted with golden sabers, white Arabian stallions, and a royal motorcade fit for a king. It was imperial treatment. Saudi outlets called it a tribute to power, something no U.S. president in history has ever received. But Trump didn't just bring symbolism. He brought $600 billion in investment deals. He brought the world's attention back to the Middle East on his terms. He signed a $142 billion defense agreement and launched a U.S.-Saudi AI alliance. Even more shocking, Trump lifted all sanctions on Syria during the visit. Meanwhile, Biden is still struggling with domestic chaos, inflation, and collapsing approval ratings. So why is Saudi Arabia backing Trump and ignoring Biden? One Saudi anchor went viral for saying Trump no longer represents a party. He represents power. And when your allies start calling someone else the real global president, that you have to ask, who really lost power?
So my opinion is that this video isn't of true events, in as much as it was put together by a hardcore Trump supporter who wants to spread the message that Donald Trump is the president of the world. Now, I did try and research this video a bit. I spent probably at least an hour, hour and a half this morning looking for ways to verify some of the information that it had, but was unable to do so, with the exception of noticing that there are hundreds of copies of this video online. There are many videos on YouTube, videos on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook. So it's a strange video put together obviously by a Trump supporter who oddly added Joe Biden references throughout, even though Biden is no longer in power, but with a purpose of to glorify Donald Trump. And if we remember a week or two back, Trump himself said that he now runs the world. So someone, somewhere, is helping to promote that idea that Trump is the true president of the world. And ironically, that is correct. Donald Trump is step by step moving his way toward being the king of this world. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.